Heartbreak, absolute chaos, and an ending that is going to echo through football history for decades. The 2026 World Cup semifinal in Atlanta literally had everything. We're talking immense pressure, masterclass tactical chess matches, stunning goals, and a finish that left one side in absolute ecstasy, and the other, well, utterly paralyzed by a very familiar despair. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the ultimate clash between England and Argentina. We're going to pit the precise pre-match blueprints crafted by tactical experts right up against the sheer, unscripted reality that actually unfolded on the pitch. It is absolutely the perfect case study in why this beautiful game is never, ever played on paper. We've got a lot of ground to cover today, so here's our roadmap. 1. History of a rivalry. 2. Pre-match tactical breakdown. 3. The second half drama. 4. Player ratings and matchups. And 5. Post-match political fallout.
Let's jump right into Section 1, History of a Rivalry.
You literally cannot talk about these two proud nations without feeling the immense weight of the ghosts they bring onto the pitch. They don't just play football matches, they create modern mythology. Think back to 1986, Diego Maradona destroying English dreams with the infamous Hand of God, followed immediately by the goal of the century. Then that absolute boiling point in 1998, with a young David Beckham seeing red, only to grab his ultimate penalty redemption 4 years later in 2002. Every single encounter leaves a deep cultural scar.
And get this, 24. That is exactly how many years the global football world had been waiting for a high-stakes knockout rematch between these heavyweights. The anticipation leading up to the semifinal wasn't just high, it was a pressure cooker ready to explode. You had an entire generation of fans experiencing this fierce rivalry in a knockout setting for the very first time.
All right, moving to Section 2, Pre-match tactical breakdown.
Going into this, the tactical contrast was night and day. RotoWire analysts highlighted Thomas Tuchel's disciplined 4-2-3-1 setup, which was designed specifically to isolate Bukayo Saka and Anthony Gordon on the wings, basically terrorizing the flanks with pure pace. On the flip side, Lionel Scaloni went with a patient, calculating 4-4-2. His primary goal? Total veteran midfield control. He wanted to stifle the game's tempo and just wait for that perfect, fleeting moment to feed Lionel Messi in those dangerous pockets of space.
Now, before kickoff, the betting markets actually leaned slightly toward England, and honestly, for good reason. First, playing indoors in a heavily climate-controlled stadium in Atlanta completely neutralized the brutal American summer heat, which really protected England's high-octane pace. Second, experts heavily banked on England's younger, deeper bench outlasting Argentina's aging legs. And finally, you had the ultimate trump card, Declan Rice's pinpoint dead ball deliveries aiming straight for Harry Kane in the box.
But hey, football isn't decided by odds makers. Let's look at Section 3, the second half drama. So, the scoreboard might have read 0-0 after a tense first 45 minutes, but the warning sirens were absolutely blaring for England. Argentina was methodically turning the screw. Alexis Mac Allister was agonizingly unlucky. He rattled both posts with vicious strikes, and it took an absolutely miraculous, sprawling save from Jordan Pickford to deny Nicolas Gonzalez. You could literally feel the dam cracking under that immense South American pressure.
Then came a frantic 25-minute spell that turned the whole tournament upside down. At the 55-minute mark, Anthony Gordon finished off a brilliant long pass from Harry Kane to give England a dream lead. But man, the joy was remarkably short-lived. Enzo Fernandez silenced the roaring English fans with a stunning equalizer completely out of nowhere, and then the ultimate dagger, an 81st-minute towering header from substitute Lautaro Martinez that flipped the script completely and sent the stadium into absolute pandemonium. In those desperate final moments, we witnessed a masterclass in contrasting game management. Basically, Tuchel blinked. He withdrew Declan Rice to protect a slim lead, a fateful defensive shift that just invited a relentless Argentine wave. Conversely, Scaloni went straight for the jugular. His aggressive substitutions totally changed the dynamic, bringing on Rodrigo de Paul to enforce the midfield, and crucially, the ultimate match winner in Lautaro Martinez.
Let's slide right into Section 4, Player Ratings and Matchups.
The Guardian's player ratings paint a fascinating picture of who thrived in the pressure cooker and who, unfortunately, kind of melted. You had heroic defensive shifts, like England's Jed Spence earning a highly commendable 8 out of 10 for what they described as a Bobby Moore-esque tackle to keep his team alive. On the other side, Enzo Fernandez easily matched that 8 for the sheer brilliance of his momentum-shifting equalizer.
But the true story of this match, it was a tale of two captains. Harry Kane, usually England's undeniable talisman, was handed a really harsh 5 out of 10. Aside from his involvement in the opener, he was completely suffocated by the aggressive Argentina defense. Meanwhile, Lionel Messi, a massive 9 out of 10. He put on an absolute clinic. With imperious touches and mazy runs, he orchestrated the entire semifinal, proving to the world that age is entirely irrelevant when you possess that kind of generational genius.
Finally, Section 5. Post-match political fallout.
Because, of course, the drama wasn't strictly confined to the 90 minutes of gameplay. In the immediate, chaotic aftermath of the final whistle, both Al Jazeera and The Guardian reported a significant moment during the on-pitch celebrations. Amidst all the jubilation, Argentine players were seen brandishing a flag bearing a highly politically charged statement regarding the Falkland Islands, stating, "Malvinas are Argentinian." Global media outlets documented this banner prominently as a direct part of the match's fallout. We're highlighting this simply to convey the complete, impartial picture of the post-match reality on the ground. It served as a stark, unavoidable reminder of how deeply intertwined national history, global politics, and international football remain, especially when these two specific countries share a stadium and the whole world is watching.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, we're left with some massive questions. As Lionel Messi marches on to yet another World Cup final, cementing a legacy that seems almost mythological, what is next for this unstoppable Argentine machine? And on the other side of the Atlantic, how does the English national team ever recover from this? Will they ever find a way to break this continuous, agonizing cycle of tournament heartbreak? Thank you so much for joining me for this breakdown. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.